For the last few years, I have been traveling around Europe with this car, for which I had created a system that allowed me to fit a bed for 2 people inside. This system was getting too small for us, so I sold the car and I bought a small van. I decided to buy the NV200 from Nissan, since its dimensions would allow me to use it both as a camper and as an everyday life vehicle. Inside, I could put drawers, a battery system, an interior table, cabinets, clean and grey water tanks, a sink that can be converted into an outdoor shower, a chemical toilet, and a sofa that can be converted into a double bed. All this while preserving the capacity to carry from 2 to 5 people. If you want to know how I did all this, join me in this series of episodes where I will detail the entire process. I am going to assemble the upper cabinet on the top of the cabinet that we made in chapter 4 and that you can see in my channel. As you may remember from chapter 9, on the left side of the cabinet we made a sink that can be converted into an outdoor shower, and now on the right side it will be where I will make the upper cabinet. The first step is to transfer the shape of the van walls to the plywood. To do this, I must also take down the curtains that we put up in the previous episode. And with one done, I move on to the next one. I'm going to do a final check to make sure that everything fits right. Before making the top, I'm going to cut to size the pull-out table that will go inside. I screwed drawer guides to the table to make it slide like a drawer. And I also screw guides into the cabinet walls. Next, I'm going to make the divider that will split the cabinet in two, also using plywood. This is how everything will be set up. I'm going to use pocket holes to mount the divider the way you see here. With a bit of wood glue and some clamps, I insert the screws into their holes, leaving everything well attached. With the top of the cabinet trimmed to the correct shape to fit in the van, all that remains is to screw it to the rest of the assembly. I could have done it with pocket screws as well, but this part is not visible, and doing this way was easier. Luckily, this time everything fits correctly, and I didn't have to fix any part. Next, I'm going to cut a piece of wood to hide the pull-out table, making it look like one more drawer. Again, wood glue, clamps and pocket holes will ensure that everything stays in place. And with a nice leather handle, this will look great. Lastly, I mount the cabinet doors the same way I did in episode 4 for the large cabinet. First, I cut the wood that will make the frame, and then with the router I made rivets to fit between them and also allow a thin piece of plywood to fit in. You can see it with more detail in episode 4 of this conversion. Here you can see them assembled, in the absence of fixing various mistakes I made in the hurry. Finally, I put the hinges and some leather handles. Here you can see the final result, before varnishing and placing it in its final place. Finally, once varnished and placed on the van, this is the final result. In addition to what is shown, I also attached some hinges into the wooden table to add a folding extension.